All right, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So since we're going to do kind of a quick 30-minute power half hour, and if you had a chance to make a list of 10 or list of 30, or any number in between, that's great. I did post a little assignment today to do a list of like 10 to invite for coaching, 10 to invite for challenge groups, and 10 to convert from challenger to coach. And I kind of wanted to just talk you guys through a few of those things, and then give you a couple examples that can kind of help with, you know, talking to somebody about coaching, talking to somebody about a challenge group, which, I mean, we're all pretty familiar with, but I did do this post in our Push to Emerald group too, so that way if we have more people in our Push to Emerald group, they can jump in and kind of get some good starter tips and stuff like that as well. Hi, Stacy. So I like to do PowerPoint sometimes. So I did put a little PowerPoint together for everyone. So I'm just going to go ahead and just promise me that you won't judge my screen. Hot mess. Okay. So we'll just, yeah, I need to clean that up, right? Okay, so one thing that I really wanted to talk about, just take about 5 minutes-ish of talking about communication and how important communication is in this business. I am personally going through the Jesse Reagan social media training, like page, team builder training right now. And for me, 3 years in this business, I'm constantly a student. There's always something new that you can learn. There's always more information. I chose to invest in this training because I personally want to continue to build and grow. And it's true, you know, investing 10 to 30% back into your business every month is only going to help you grow as a coach. And it helps you too to kind of take it to that next level and say, you know what, like, you know, whether it's buying a personal development book or paying for, you know, a webinar or paying for a training or even investing in, you know, lighting for your videos or your selfies, like little things like that, you know, are great things to invest in. And this is the first like big, huge training that I've just said, all right, like I'm going to go all in and do this. And for me, it's just really helped kind of reshape exactly why I'm doing this and just kind of help me re-engage my mind. And so I want to pass a little bit of that on to you guys tonight and share some, you know, just a couple things, just a couple basic things that you can kind of rethink about how you're posting. Because we are now, we've kind of transitioned a little bit on social media from, you know, where initially, you know, you could post a picture of your workout or your Shakeology or something and people would be like, cool, like PiYo, tell me more. What's that? You know? And now you can Google everything. Not that you couldn't 5 years ago, but you can, you know, literally people will just go and do it on their own. And if you've had that person that, you know, came to you because they bought a DVD from Amazon or whatever, we all have, it's because they probably saw something that sparked their interest and they went and they did it on their own. But when you can just kind of be who you are and do the things that you do, and, you know, yeah, there's this Beachbody Shakeology, you know, workout component to it, but I'm just being me, living my life and doing this stuff and feeling awesome. And, you know, and then creating that interest is really kind of where we've transitioned to, and really just trying to engage our followers a lot more so they actually want to ask those questions, engage on our posts, join us. And then, and we're not this like robotic, you know, this is my workout, this is my shake, you know, because everybody, literally everybody can do that on social media. And where is the uniqueness? Where is what's going to set you apart from any other coach that's posting their workout picture and their shake on social media? What's going to make it different? What's going to pique somebody's interest? So a couple things that, can you guys see this okay and hear me okay? Just kind of the root of communication on your social media page. how to, what are some great things that you can do to drum up some traction and, to get you those people that you can put on that list in the first place. Just engaging more people on your page, asking your audience a question. I'm adding a lot more questions to my post. Moms, tell me if this has ever happened to you, ... and then, share whatever it is. And it doesn't always have to be workout related, fitness related, but just helping somebody come out of their shell, and they start commenting on your posts. Then when you do that post about, have you ever struggled with this, challenge group post, that person who's already been commenting is like, I already feel comfortable with this person, so she's the one that I'm going to go to when she talks about a challenge group. Being vulnerable. I know that this, for a lot of us early on as coaches, is really hard to just like, I don't want to share this. Oh my gosh, people are going to judge me. What's going to happen? And I can tell you from personal experience, when I started opening up a lot more about, the depression stuff and struggles I struggled with postpartum, and the anxiety that I have, and, my husband traveling, and frustrations with children, and, normal chaos and stuff like that. When I started sharing a lot more of that, I started connecting with a lot more people. So there's a separate aspect, and we're not saying, to dive into your closet and share all your skeletons and stuff like that. Like that's not the purpose of being vulnerable, but just being able to relate to somebody on a more personal, deeper level. If nutrition is something that you legit struggle with, like no matter what, I am in the pantry eating Cheetos at 6 p.m. every night, share that. My gosh, because you know what? There's probably 150 other people on your friends list that have done the exact same thing, and they're going to be like, yep, that's me. Because when you can be that much more relatable to somebody, and when you can say, you know what, like regardless of the fact that I work out every day and I drink this shake, like I'm still just a normal person. That is where you're going to find your best followers, your people that your dream team, the people that are going to come to you because they love you and they're engaged with you and they're entertained by you. Entertaining posts, I personally I'm very sarcastic and I have kind of funky sense of humor. So when I can share things that kind of showcases my crazy, then, those people are the ones that I'm like, yay, they get me, like they understand that I'm weird and funny and whatever. And so that's kind of, avatar is kind of where I'm going with that. But you think about the people that are most like you, or that, how you felt when you started, and that's kind of who you post to, and that's kind of who you want to talk to. So our list of 30, I want to dive into that. So has everyone made a list as far as this call goes? Have you made a list of at least 5 people? Like, let's start with 5. Yeah, at least 5 people. So I'm not a very structured person. If you don't know me personally, I'm a little chaos and crazy. So I don't have an organized set, this is exactly what we're going to do right now. This is what we're going to do right now. But I want you guys to make sure that you have that list, because I want to dive into talking to people and how to start that conversation. So where am I going with this? So those 10 people who you think would make a good, I feel like it's easiest to send a hey girl message first, and instead of just coming out, and if you've been a coach for a while, or even if you sent out a bunch of word vomity type messages right at the beginning, it's funny to go back and look at those and be like, oh man, like what? Why did I do that? But starting a conversation is always where we want to start. And what's nice about what we do is it's just kind of a natural progression with conversation. It's not something that, we have to, come in with like a weird, crazy product, or try to, talk to somebody about something that they may not know anything about. It's just kind of a natural, like, lifestyle. And so whenever we share that opportunity, whenever we share what we do with other people, it doesn't have to come across as salesy, and it shouldn't come across as salesy. So let's take one person on your list of potential challengers, and let's just send a message to that person, and just tell them. And maybe you got your list from people that have liked or commented on your post recently. And if so, then that's a message that you want to send to somebody. Hey, oh my gosh, thanks so much for the love on my post. I totally appreciate it. How have you been? How's your week? Are you looking forward to Halloween? Get them talking first. Like, you, before saying, hey, thanks so much, I appreciate the love, XOXO, and then, you're out. Ask a question. Ask them a simple question. How's your day? Look at their page first. Make sure that they're like, their dog didn't just die. And you're like, oh my gosh, I hope you're having an awesome day. And they're like, my dog died. Thanks. So just make sure, and send them just a simple message that says, hey, my gosh, thanks so much for the love. If it's a fitness post, then I always talk fitness on that very first conversation. I always say, thanks so much for the love on my post. Oh my gosh, you know how much it means when I have support on one of my health and fitness posts. It means so much to me to be able to share what I do, to be able to do what I do, to be able to, and then just kind of introduce that whole fitness conversation. And then I don't hesitate to ask a question on those posts too. I totally used to not be a morning person. Oh my gosh, thanks so much for the love on my post. I have noticed a huge difference since I work out in the morning. Do you work out in the morning or at night? Get them talking. And, oh, I don't work out. Oh, you don't? Oh, tell me more. So that's a good, that's kind of a good conversation starter. So does anybody have something that they want to, like a conversation or a message you just sent, or a message that, you don't know where to start, or any questions like that? And I can't see everybody, so unmute yourself.
Hey, it's me. I just like to make them really simple and sweet, kind of like what Ashley does. Whenever someone likes or comments on any of my photos or videos that are any type of fitness related, I always, always, always ask the open question, are you also working on your fitness journey? And I thank them for the support on mine, because let's get real, it's not easy to be on this journey. And then I go and proceed and say, are you also on your own journey? And how's that going? So that's how I get the conversation started. And it usually works really, really well. They either say, yeah, they're on it, or I'm trying to get on it, or no, they don't want anything to do with it. But I usually get one of the first few responses. So.
Anybody want to add anything, say anything, question? And did everybody send a message? Does anybody need help wording a message? I'm going to just pull one up here. And I literally just saw this person like my fitness post. I'm just going to do a quick little search of them just to make sure that it's not like a coach that I'm messaging. And she's in Germany, so we'll probably not message her. Okay.
Keep her. We're going to be there next.
Yeah. Germany. She's actually probably military. So that would probably be. So this one I've messaged previously. Just a simple thanks for the love. How's your week going? Okay. So that's kind of how I start a conversation with somebody who's a challenger. Somebody who's a coach, I usually try to talk to them a little bit more about, somebody in the chat bar. Somebody who's a coach, I usually try to start a conversation a little bit more personal with them. Maybe a little bit more in detail about their family, or, you know, their job, or if they've liked my coach post, then I always say something about my coach post. Thanks so much for the love on my post. You know, just being super vulnerable about sharing, you know, what it is that I do as a coach. It's been so absolutely rewarding. And then sometimes if I've talked to them before, I just come right out and I ask them, have you ever thought about being a coach? What's the worst thing that can happen? They say, no, I haven't. Oh, well, why haven't you? Like, you should. Or they say, they say something to the effect of, no, I'm not interested. I never push anything, but I always ask another question. Does anybody have somebody that they think would make a good coach that we can message together on the call?
We should totally go on someone's Facebook page.
Any volunteers?
Who wants to volunteer?
I struggle. This is Jackie. I struggle really hard. So, like, unless I'm in a conversation with them and they bring up the financial objection, like, that's most consistently the only time I bring up the opportunity. I have a hard time finding people just like from their posts that I can tell they'd make a good coach.
What do you mean, like the objection to?
Like if they bring up the financial objection that they can't afford it month to month.
Oh.
Because that's where I was when I signed up.
Right.
Is I couldn't afford it, and so the coaching opportunity was like an added bonus.
Mm-hmm. Do you share that with them? Tell them like that's exactly where I was when I started.
I do. I just like the list. I don't have very many people on that list because I don't have many conversations that's the objection.
Okay.
So.
Do you have anyone on your Facebook page that you see in your newsfeed that is working out or posting any type of food?
Yeah, and I have messaged a couple people that are on there, and they'll message me about everything else except that.
They'll message you about everything else, like in response to what you
asked?
Yeah.
They'll message me, like I'll talk to them in general conversation, but they won't message me back when I bring up the coaching. Again, like I've brought it up multiple times, and there's only like a handful. I'm not friends with a ton of fitness people.
Okay. So the people who are into fitness, do you go on their friends list?
Yeah.
Okay. And look for other fitness people?
Yeah.
And the groups?
I don't have a ton of fitness groups. I don't know. I'm in mostly wedding groups right now.
Ooh, that's a good one to do.
So
like what I would do is I would go into your groups and just look at the members and look at their profiles and see what you can find.
I start talking to challengers that way. It's just the coaching opportunity.
Do it the same way you talk about challengers.
Do you guys have a sneak peek that you can just add people to, or do you have like an ongoing something that you can just have people like, hey, would you have 5 minutes to check out such and such, or because I feel like that makes a big difference. And if you have like, even if you have a coaching sneak peek from the past, I still add people to mine that I started in June. Actually, I think I started it when we went to Punta Cana in April, and I still add people, and I just do kind of updated stuff in there every now and then, and my team uses it too. But that, I feel like that's kind of a really easy, kind of non-intrusive way to like introduce somebody to the coaching opportunity, to say like, hey, I was super hesitant to, and a big part of it was because I didn't think I could afford this. But when I saw how I could, and when it was broken down for me, and knowing that I had a couple friends who also wanted to work out and get healthier, that kind of made it easier for me because I knew I could help them too, and then it would offset the cost of what I spent. Would you have a couple minutes? I can add you to this quick group, and you can check out a couple posts in there on what being a coach is all about. And then if they say no, then I'm like, well, okay, I know that I still, I put the opportunity out there, and now they know that when they're interested, I have this for them. But I always try to take that objection and turn it into the reason why they should. And I feel like the financial one is always the biggest objection. And there's not a ton that we can do to combat that, because it's not like the price is going to change. I mean, technically we can say it goes up to $199 at the end of the year, but that doesn't really help us right now. So I always just try to break it down for them, and just kind of let them know to, like, if you have a couple friends that want to work out too, this would be a really great opportunity for you to earn some extra income, especially with Christmas coming up. Like that's another good thing to put in there as well. Michaela. Okay. All right, girly. No worries.
Thanks, Ashley.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. So just, if you thought of that person, if you thought of, if you have your list of 10 people, definitely start with just sending that message and just saying, just starting a conversation. And how I transition that into a coaching conversation is just talking to them a little bit more about what they do specifically and what they do in their free time. And especially if they're a fitness person, then I talk to them about what they do for their workouts and the time they spend on their workouts. And if they know anybody, or if they've inspired anybody along the way on their fitness journey. Because a lot of times and this is great, and I kind of wanted to go into this with people who you can convert from challenger to coach too, is just asking that person, is there anybody that has noticed you making these changes? Has anybody else in your family noticed that you've lost some weight or that you're eating healthier? And I'm not talking about like your husband. I'm talking about like, has anybody in your extended family, at coworkers, stuff like that have noticed you, that have been inspired by you to make some changes? Oh my gosh, they have. That's so awesome. You should totally do this. Like this would be so great for you, because you get to just keep doing what you're doing right now, and then your friends can do it with you. But just kind of reminding them and reinforcing them, like, you're already doing this stuff. You're already doing awesome. Like, you're already getting results. Why wouldn't you share that with somebody else? So I do have okay, just to go back to kind of the conversation thing, and going through these conversations, okay, now what? So I've sent them a message, continue to give. So if you do get those no objections, continue to give. Send them a recipe. Send them something that would help them re-engage with you. Tell them, I was thinking about you today and I saw this really funny whatever, and I thought you would appreciate it. But just going back to let them know, and even in your posts, like, I've been here. I have been here. I know what it's like to have to wait for your paycheck to come to go get groceries. I know what it's like to, eat everything in the pantry and then feel super guilty about it the next minute. And just being able to relay that, and where you can't guarantee somebody's going to get them the results, you can help them get started rewriting their story. That the story that they're currently a part of doesn't have to be their end all be all story. And that you can give them the support and guidance that you had when you first started. I think probably the majority, I would probably say, Deidre, you can probably speak to this too. I would probably say 9 out of 10 people that I talk to, they have zero support system whatsoever. And most of the times it's like 10 out of 10. Is there anybody helping you with and no, the answer is always no. And just being able to say, hey, like, give it a shot for a month, and I'm going to help you with some meal plans and stuff. Same thing with coaching, which you can't really say give it a shot for a month, but I can help you find a couple friends that can join our next group together. And I have just a couple examples here that I wanted to share, just of some conversations on when you're talking to, say you have that person that's ready to sign up as a challenger. And this kind of just goes in with our Emerald group that we were talking about, getting to Emerald and rank advancing and just building that stability. If you're already an Emerald coach or a Diamond coach, whatever your rank is, just building that stability and signing up more people as coaches. So when I started, I just didn't quite understand that, like, if you signed up as a coach, you didn't actually have to work the business, that you could just be a coach that got the same discount that I did. So my husband wasn't a coach right away. We were ordering stuff. My mom, she wasn't a coach. Like, I could have been Emerald on, the second month that I was a coach, and I didn't. So I always talk to people about that immediately. And like I will say, and if you're in our little Emerald push group, signing up your spouse and your mom or your sister or whoever from day one. They're already going to do the workouts and support you and stuff like that anyway. So just getting there and building that stability and starting from the get-go makes such a big difference. But when you have those challengers that are ready to sign up, putting it out there and saying, hey, do you also want me to sign you up so you can get the same discount that I get every month? You get 25% off of your Shakeology. Yeah, you do pay a $15 fee every month, but that covers your Shakeology, your 24/7 support. Are you military? Hey, I saw you were a military spouse. You don't have to pay that $15 monthly fee. Saves you $30, saves you 25% on everything else that you order. And there's no penalties, no fee to cancel, things like that. So those are some kind of things that I say to people. It doesn't ever hurt to ask, because the worst thing that they're going to do is say no. But whenever you tell somebody that it can save them an extra $30, why not? And then one here that I wanted to share is the 3-day refresh. That's something that you can always almost definitely have a conversation with when you're signing somebody up. Just because, if you have somebody that's like all gung-ho, like finally ready to like, oh my God, I have to do something, please tell me what to do. Talking about that. Do you want to add in a 3-day refresh too? Because that's going to give you a really awesome jump start. And if you're drinking soda like 6 times a day, it's going to help you get rid of that soda, and it's going to help kind of reset your body. So that's just kind of a little bonus tip in there when you're talking to somebody, just throwing that in there. But just introducing that and letting them know that it's going to show coach when you sign up, but it doesn't mean you have to coach. And actually this girl I just enrolled, I had mentioned signing up as a coach, and she's like, well, I've done an MLM before and I'm not really interested. And then today she's like, actually, that's something that I might consider in the future, but I need to get to my goals first. And so I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So you never know, and you never honestly know who's going to benefit from the opportunity. So just saying it, just saying the words. And that just helps build your confidence too, as you continue to grow, and just knowing that you're having those conversations regularly with people. And I just wanted to throw this coaching jab in there that we had talked about in the group yesterday, but 100% I recommend throwing in at least every other day a coaching jab. I try to do them daily. I try to say something daily about what being a coach has done for me, or how it's helped my family, or how it's helped me do something. And I posted this coaching jab yesterday. And guys, this is me. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I have those slippers on right now. And this is, graphic tees and coffee mugs. And this is like my avatar. This is who I want to find on my team. I want to find other people that do this. And whenever you do those coaching jabs, it's so important to post to not only where you were or where you are when you started or where your, vision is going with this, but to post to those people that can relate to you and that you want to have join you. So for me, I talked about, in my early 20s when I did all these job resumes and all this stuff that like I didn't want to have to do as a job. Why couldn't I just do this? Like, why couldn't I do this? Wear pajamas, wear slippers, drink coffee, take all the vacation days I want, like this is totally a dream job. And it is, like, we all know this, like, this is an awesome job that we get to do. Like, we get to put on our slippers and sit at our, computer and do this on our own terms. And when you treat it like your dream job, and when you share that with, like, when you project that to other people, like, this is so awesome. I love what I get to do. And it is, like, I'm not being sarcastic here. I'm just saying, like, whenever you share that excitement with other people, people can see that and they're like, like, she might be annoying the crap out of me, but like, I'm kind of intrigued with what she's doing. So I had quite a few likes on this post, and I was able to snatch up like 5 or 6 people from this post that I haven't talked to about coaching yet. So those are people that have gone on my list that I'm going to say, dude, oh my gosh, your love on my post yesterday, talking about my dream job, that just made my day. Like, thank you so much for the support. Can I just tell you, like, whenever I started coaching, I did not expect any of this, but it has totally rocked my world. Have you ever thought about being a coach? It is so much fun. I would love to have you on our team. Just something like that. And you know what? Like, they may or may not, I mean, they may be in Germany or they may be selling wine. I don't know, but just starting that conversation and planting that seed just helps you not only build your confidence and build your own, social media and grow your posts and challenge you to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. But it just, it does wonders for your business. It helps grow your business too. What else in the chat? Stacy. Okay, Stacy. So yes, Stacy said, what if you're not to the point of working this full time? That's okay, because some people don't want to do this full time. And there's people that don't want to do this part time. There's people that want to do this as a hobby, or there's people that just want to get their Shakeology paid for every month. Or there's people that, that want to get their groceries paid for. For me, when I started, I didn't know how to post about the coaching opportunity because I was like, I've only been a coach for a month. Like, who's going to even want to join me? Like, why would anybody want to join me? And I had to kind of just put that aside and say, you know what? Like, I know why I'm here, and I put my blinders on, and I know why I'm here. And it's because I want to help people be better. And if you are a person that wants to help people be better, be healthier, then you can benefit from this opportunity. And I don't think, income should come into play at all. I mean, yeah, it's nice when you can share those little posts, those little jabs that, like, this week I paid my cell phone bill, or this week I paid for my groceries. Or, this week I got a pedicure. Like, how many women could benefit from getting a pedicure every month and not have to pay for it out of their own pocket? Like, we could run $1 billion business on just saying, who wants to get a free pedicure every month? Like, everybody, right? So, I mean, just those little victories, and just being able to share those little teeny tiny excitements. And even if it's just, you know what? I never stuck to anything before. And now I'm finally being held accountable, not just by myself, but by the other people in my group. And this is why I'm having the results that I'm having. Being able to share stuff like that. Because sometimes it's not about, the income or the size of your team, or, how much your paycheck was each week. It's the things that people can see themselves in your shoes. That's where you're going to get your people. That's where you're going to find the people that are going to join you, not only just as a challenger, but as a coach, when you can relate to them and connect to them on that more personal level. Did that help? Did I ramble? Anybody else have questions or?
Like when you were talking about, this is my dream job and stuff like that, that's where I was getting to the transition of what about if you're not there, but you want to be there,
Yeah.
and you want other people to join you in that environment.
Yeah, I would share that. I would share, sometimes I'm an overshare, but I feel like it hasn't hurt me yet. So, I mean, and if those people are like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Okay, then you probably weren't going to be a good person on my team anyway. So okay, let me go back to that. So like if you're early on and you want this to be a full-time job, or you want this to, you want to grow a big business, then I would talk about that. I would just talk about how, you're so clear-headed right now. You have such an awesome vision. You, for the first time in my life, I've never been so excited about something, or, just the emotions. I love sharing that emotional stuff. And when you can connect with somebody, because you know what, you might have a best friend from high school that has been watching you and they've been waiting and they're like, I don't even know if this is for me. Like, she's doing all this awesome stuff. And it just takes that one post where you're like, you know what, like, some days I don't even know what I'm doing. And like, I can say this honestly right now, currently, like some days I don't even know what I'm doing. I sit down on my computer with a blank screen and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do today? But I know where I want to go, and I know the actions that I need to take that are going to get me there. And I think, when you can see that vision, having a vision board is so important. When you can see that vision, and when you can say like, all right, today I need to sit down at my computer and I need to be on my A game. Who is the person that needs me on my A game today? I'm going to post to them. Who is the person that needs to hear what's on my heart today? That's who I'm going to post to today. And I can pour over lists and lists of names, but it may be one post that I see of somebody else's that is struggling with their weight, or that posted, the 100th picture of cheesecake this week. And I need to talk about that. I need to talk about something, and I need to write a post about that. I need to write a post about an objection. I need to write a post about, why I've sent 4 links this month and those 4 people have still yet to complete them. And I'm like, oi, I need to write a post about that. And I need to speak to those people. And when you sit down at your computer, you sit down at your phone to write a post, think about that. Think about who needs you on your A game today. And whether it's a coaching post or a fitness post, or just this is what's on my heart right now post, that's where you're going to reach more people. And that's where you can tell your story.
Yeah, I've been seeing that like personal development has been helping me a lot, but I don't know how to post about that, because before I started this, I didn't understand what personal development was and what it could do for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to relay that to somebody else.
So I go live sometimes, and as scary as that is, sometimes you have to tear the Band-Aid off. But if there's something that I read in a book that was like a super important nugget that I think, that not only helped benefit me, I share that I write that into a post. Or if it's like, a paragraph from a book, I take it and I break it down and I put it with like a selfie, or, something like that. Or like I'll take a quote and put it as the top of the wording on my post, and then talk about, what it is that I'm feeling. And I think personal development helps me a ton with my posts. I know, Deidre, you can probably speak to that too, that it's just, especially on those days that you don't really know what you're going to do or say, or sometimes just a podcast, or, that video or whatever it is makes a big difference. I have this little desktop motivational quote calendar, and sometimes this is what I write on my post. This is my quote for the day, or, I'll take something like that and I'll use it. And, you can Google like free daily motivation and find little stuff like that, and just include those little nuggets. in your posts and stuff like that. And you honestly never know who, but, well, I will say, like, if you find something in a book that you're like, dang, that was good, share that.
Make a video. I get at least one of my posts a day come from my personal development. Like, that's how I do them. And Jackie, you've been doing a lot of videos, haven't you?
Yeah, ever since the retreat, I was talking to actually Chrysanthi, and she suggested doing a lot more live videos. I do one at least once a week, which is a huge improvement from what I was doing. I've been trying to do it 2 to 3 times a week now.
So Stacy, if you're at the point where you're like, I want to talk about it, but people might not know what it is because I didn't know what it is, I think that that's something that you should talk about and explain. I had no idea what personal development was until I became a coach. And this is one of the perks of being a coach. This is one of the best things that has happened to me, because it's not only helped me with a positive mindset with coaching, but also in other aspects of my life, and talk about how it changed you. And then say, if you're not sure what personal, like, you can even do a video. If you're not sure what personal development is, like, this is what it is. You can do books, you could do audios, but it's self-help. So you could just explain it that way. That way people know what it is. And I have done that, and I can't even tell you how many people. I had a message today. I know you talk about how depressed you were and how much you went through in the past year, but you did personal. I'd have to find the message exactly today, but they said something like that. And I know that you had, hold on, here it is. I recall you saying you had depression and some real struggles that no one realizes. I know you seem to have it all together. I know you Beachbody coaches like reading self-help and confidence boosters, so I thought of you instantly. I'm a hot mess and I need help. So something that I'm posting is hitting with these people, that I'm talking about personal development. I'm talking about how I'm reading these self-help books. It was funny that you said that, because I got that message today, but like, explain what it is so they know, because you're going to have people reaching out to you, and whether you're not helping them as a coach, like, you can help so many people. And it's like, this is the opportunity that we have to serve so many. It's awesome.
And you never know who's watching silently. And you know, it's like, I'll get a message that, like, I've been following your posts for like 2 years, and you're like, really? Like, even the bad ones? Like, you know, like, and you stuck around? Like, what? Okay. But it's, you know, you never really know who's watching and waiting. And sometimes it's that right away, you know, sometimes it's somebody that right away, immediately, you know, and sometimes it takes a while. And, but just tearing off the Band-Aid and just, you know, hitting post or hitting send, you know, and sometimes that's the hardest part. But I always go back to that, like I said, being on, you know, who needs me at my best right now, and how can I share something that's going to help somebody. That's what we do. That's give. That was a big thing I had in the other slide. Give, because this business is about serving others. It's about helping others be the best version of themselves, empowering other people to do, you know, the things that they've never been able to do before, struggled to do before, have, you know, tried and failed so many times because they haven't had a support system. And just being able to show that along the way makes a big difference. And I will say, just like as a side note, there's so much more, I feel like you can communicate your message so much more when it's like a picture of what you're going through, or a picture of like your day or your self, or your, you know, your desktop with your book on it, or, you know, whatever it is. Because I go back to some of my older posts where I literally would just post motivational quotes, like one after the next, day after day after day. And I wasn't getting any traction on those. Well, because anybody can look for a motivational quote. But when you're posting, and I throw those in every now and then, you know, but when you're posting, you know, like even if it's just a selfie and you're just talking about what's on your heart, like, I feel like that grabs a lot more attention and grabs a lot more traction too. It's 8:48. Who's in the chat bar? Cynthia. I did a Tip Tuesday post today and had 8 likes on my page. I've not reached out to those 8, but I will. Yeah, that's awesome. So I try to keep a journal or like a notebook or like a list of people that like and comment on my posts. And depending on where you are with your, with your friends list, with your engagement, with your business, we always talk about adding new contacts every day, which is super important because it keeps that list growing. But I keep a running list, and I just go through and highlight the people that I've talked to. Whether it's a Hey Girl, I like to do 3 different colored highlighters. Like I like to do pink for coaching, yellow for challenge group, orange for Hey Girl, and I go through and I highlight those names when I've sent a message. And I just keep that list and I keep that ongoing. So that way I can't ever say I don't have anybody to talk to, because next month I start a new list. And then I go back to my October list and I go through that in November and just make sure that I've followed up with the people that I need to and just have had those conversations ongoing. And then too, just with follow-ups, and I know that some of you guys that do this already, but just making sure that you ask for a referral if they say no. Like, do you know anybody else that might be interested in joining this group this month? Or, hey, why don't I follow up with you at the end of the year because I have a really awesome group starting in January. If they tell you no, like this month or next month, I usually do that because chances are everybody's going to start something on January 1st anyway, or at least say they're going to. So does anybody have any other questions or anything that you want to cover? I'm free until technically 9 my time. So I've got 10 more minutes of, anything, if anybody needs anything, has any questions or. Was that helpful? Did you guys get some good info? Yeah. Is there anything that you like moving forward, anything that you need help with, want to touch base with tomorrow, want to do tonight, work on tomorrow, next week, anything like that? Those of you that are in the Emerald Push group, we can talk about this in the Emerald group too, but any questions about, what next? How do I continue to move these conversations forward? What can I keep doing? Anything like that? We're still going to cover quite a bit more of that in the Emerald Push group. No? All right, y'all. Well, I will let you go. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and for getting on tonight. So, technically there's 8 minutes left until the timer dings, but I encourage you and challenge you to go, take that list that you made and go through and just at least send something to everybody on that list tonight. Hey girl, how have you been? What's going on with you? How's your family? You look great. What have you been up to? Whatever it is, and just start a conversation. Building those trusting relationships, that confidence is the very best place to start in this business, and to move forward. And not only that, but when you message people, then your stuff starts showing up in their feed all the time. So then they see your stuff a lot more. So that's kind of a little added perk for doing your job. So Facebook rewards us.
Thanks, Ashley. You did awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your jab that you did right there was awesome, by the way. I'm going to steal a little bit of it.
Thanks. Yeah, it was it took me an hour to write that because I had a 3-year-old who needed all of the things. And I was actually trying to write a post about that, but then so that's for another day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks guys for getting on. You guys have a great night. And I will post the recording.